Though you're leaving me today, never fear. In my thoughts you'll always be ever near. There's a tear in every eye as the boys go marching by.
So tell me this. What's the what do you have in mind when you talk about the World War One RP? Like, what do you want it to be like? Should it be something historic, or should it be something that's like alternate history, but we just start with the same map?
I don't know. Honestly, everything's allowed. If it's in the realm of possibility, like you can go around and get a completely new person in charge that had no possibility of getting in charge of the country. Well, as the roleplay advances and when we get to World War II, like Cold War era, then you can create your own characters and get them in charge. No, by that point we will have we'll have no idea who would be in charge at that point. Unless events go historically, then yeah. But I
So
don't think everything will go historically.
essentially, it's like a semi-realistic RP, which is like the general concept of RPs, anyways, which is nice.
Pretty much, yeah.
Um, was this the type of RP that you wanted to start on Supremacy and then move over to Conflict of Nations and then like all those different games?
Yeah, this is pretty much that. Because, like I said, we'll move to World War II era and whatnot, and then to Conflict of Nations.
Okay, but I thought you said you wanted to start on Supremacy.
No, I really wanted to start on Supremacy, but then I spoke with a few people, and then we thought it would be better to start here on Call of War because of the tech trees. That's easier to represent it here, and the difference in technology and everything.
Okay, gotcha. So can you tell me about the general game rules, as in like wars and stuff?
Well, wars are allowed, but it has to be sort of historical. Like you declare war on AI nations because yeah, but that's self-explanatory.
Yeah, I
Realism.
gotcha.
Anyways, when how war works here in this World War One roleplay is people have to they have to implement trench warfare. So like on the Western Front, you can only take one province each day when day resets. Each day you can only take one province.
Oh, okay, awesome.
On the Eastern Front, people can take two provinces. For example, now Austro-Hungarian Empire and well, Germany could cooperate and cut off the Russian forces if they wanted to, because Austro-Hungarian Empire can take two provinces and Germany can take two provinces. So they could, if they cooperated and worked quickly, could cut off the Russian forces in one day in Poland. So yeah, the Eastern Front was, let's just say, quicker than the Western Front.
Gotcha. So also, so when we start the round, it's not gonna go straight into World War One, is it? Or are we gonna have some sort of
No,
time to get ready?
we'll have the time for all of the land swaps, which will take at least 5 to 10 days, at least. That
Okay.
that will be enough time for people to set up at least some armies and whatnot, and there of course will be like 3 to 4 days if people aren't fully set up for people to build more units.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna read some stuff that pertains to me. I see that Russia can only build level 1 industrial complexes and level 1 barracks. Crap.
Yeah, that's yeah. Like I know that that's pretty fucked up, but honestly, Russia in this roleplay will really be powerful because of all the manpower they'll get, the resources, the amount of resources. They'll annex like five playable countries, I think. Like
Yeah.
yeah, that's so much. Like you can't tell me that Russia is won't be overpowered. You can't tell me that if I gave them a normal tech like they had IRL, that they wouldn't just completely obliterate the central powers.
No, yeah, you're absolutely correct with that. What was I gonna say? I heard some of the people in the round, like Killer, tell me about how they wanted to change the tech system for certain nations to make it more historically accurate. Are you gonna let
Yeah,
people do that?
I am currently working on getting sort of a Google Doc review where everyone can type and complain or just put up proof and what they'll think. Like if they prove to me that IRL Turkey had, or Ottoman Empire really had good artillery, and that they deserve that in the round, and I'll definitely give that to them.
Gotcha.
And of course, as the roleplay goes on, we will get, or before the roleplay starts, we will do some little tweaks and whatnot to the tech tree.
So currently, the nations we need consist of the USA, Cuba, Switzerland. Let's see, France. Did we get a France, or is it still free?
No, I don't think. No, not yet.
Okay, so then
Serbia and Montenegro.
Yep.
Is next, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Then Belgium, Denmark. I'm not sure if he'll roleplay because he's pretty busy. I'll still talk over it with him. And Netherlands.
Oh.
No, Netherlands. We got Netherlands.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah.
We're lacking quite a few countries, but I think we could start this in the upcoming weeks.
Yeah, so if anyone's listening to this or watching this video and is interested in applying, I'll put the link to the Discord server, yeah, in the what's it called, in the info below. Yeah, that's essentially the video, though. Is there anything else that we need to talk about or discuss?
Yeah, we could go over the tech tree, as in explaining what everything means in this roleplay. Exactly, as in it's pretty different than what you would expect from normal world.
Okay, and also F for Stephen Carl Stevenson.
RIP.
Oh, RIP. Alright, in that case, I'm just gonna fucking read through the tech tree.
Yeah, the explanations.
Yeah.
You can go ahead.
Alright, so militia. Militia are conscripted units that are mainly used by Russia. They are very bad at offensive capabilities. Woo. Infantry. Infantry are pretty well-trained units that have far better equipment than militia, and they are used by mainly everyone else. Motorized infantry are pretty straightforward, but are a new concept in World War I. They were used to get around units quickly, and they're used by Germany, Austria-Hungary, France, and Italy. Artillery. Within RP, they shall be considered as siege artillery, as not many countries mass-produce them. As they see field guns are more effective on the battlefield. Okay. Anti-tanks. In RP, they'll be considered field guns, which was the main artillery of World War I, and are used by all countries widely. And then there are anti-air installments, which were barely used in World War I, and were mainly produced and used in the very late stages of the war. I'm assuming that certain techs will be, what's it called, announced later on in the conflict, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. Moving on to armor. Armored cars, they're widely used in World War I as the main armor forces. Tanks, we are working on seeing if we can implement them, hopefully.
Can I interrupt you there?
Of course.
Anyways, yeah, tanks. I don't know if you should implement them because, like I said, most countries have high-level infantry, and tanks will be useless if someone tries using them. Like, just imagine level 1 light tank going up against max level infantry. The tank will get obliterated.
True. Damn.
There's no point. That's a waste of resources. And if you give people low level infantry, then that's.
But still, it would still be fun to see them in battle. I mean, even if they're useless, they'll be good as like support units.
That could be true, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, in the end, it's completely up to you. And then I'm assuming, yeah, it says
heavy tanks.
Yeah.
We could implement them as heavy tanks, but then level 1 heavy tanks, those are quite overpowered. That's another thing. As they were mainly land ships. We could implement them as high level tank destroyers. Like I'm going to the tank destroyers, and well, yeah, we implemented them as armored trains, but we could implement them as heavy tanks. That could work. In a way.
I thought we had armored train tech in what's it called, Call of War.
No, we don't. Or do we now?
I thought we had trains.
Did we get an update? I'm pretty sure we don't.
Like railguns in Supremacy 1914.
Yeah, railguns. Railguns. We have railguns, but railguns are a totally different thing.
Okay. Air units, interceptors, which are like fighters, they're the main bulk of the Air Force in World War I. I'm assuming like we should have limits on how many Air Forces we can build, air units, right?
Yeah, that definitely. I'm pretty sure everyone has limits on Air Force besides Germany. Hold on. I'll go up to Germany. Shit, I can't find them. I'm pretty sure Germany is one of the many limits because, you know, yeah, they really. I gave other country limits. Yeah, hold on, I'm at Germany. No, I gave them limits as well. No, never mind. I didn't give them interceptor, and I'll give them limits as well. Yeah, I'll give them limits as well. I didn't want to give them limits because, yeah, Germany is the main power of the Central Powers in World War One.
You should nerf. Wait, what does it say? I think it would be interesting to implant a research tree so that the role player has to roleplay getting said new tech. That's a good idea. I
Yeah,
mean, if you have the time for
I
that.
think I'll implement something like that between the World War One and World War Two. Or we could, I don't know. We'll decide on that. We'll do about. We'll decide if we do a interwar era where people will be allowed to expand like their influence areas and whatnot. Not many wars. Like maybe people can roleplay civil wars in their country and whatnot, and they can develop new technology. Like for example, the Austro-Hungarian Empire. If they win World War One with Germany, they can develop the Czechoslovakian tanks and whatnot, and that way people can develop their technology sort of on their own stuff and put it into real use that was not used IRL. Anyways, shall we get back into the tech tree?
Absolutely. Let's see. Where was I? I was at interceptors.
Tactical bombers.
Oh yeah, tactical bombers. They're the main bomber force of World War One. Yep. Strategic bombers. Hopefully we can implement them. Naval bombers. Some were used in World War One, but on a smaller scale and in the later stages of the conflict. And hopefully they can be implemented as well. Naval units. So destroyers. Destroyers stay as what they are. Submarines also stay as what they are, and cruisers stay as cruisers. Transport ships were used to transport troops. Battleships are going to be referred to as dreadnoughts within the conflict. And then aircraft carriers. There were some early designs in World War One. I don't think they should be implemented because they're pretty OP. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's completely up to you. Moving on to secret tech. Rockets, no way to implement them. Maybe instead of gas, rocket fighters.
Like,
Oh yeah, what were you
I'll,
saying?
I'll, I'll interrupt you there. Rockets. Some people did say that we should implement them instead of gas, but like when I think about it, people who had really good means against gas but protect against rockets, there's literally no way to protect against rockets
Yeah,
in game. So it's like, is there really a point in implementing it?
like
Man, here's some of your hearing aid batteries, baby.
personally, I don't think they should be implemented.
Just wanted to give them to you, baby. Okay?
Hmm.
I said I wanted to give them to you.
Anyways, let's see. Fuck, where was I? Railroad guns. Oh yeah, these. Okay. So yeah, they're the railroad guns used by countries in World War One. Commandos will represent generals on the front line to make sure they don't. So make sure they don't die, and then we're not having nuclear tech. No. Okay. Seems pretty
Oh,
straight.
by the way,
Mhm.
I think that the Commando's general idea is pretty cool.
No,
Honestly,
I like it
that's my
too.
idea. Yeah.
Only that
Anyways,
means countries without mountains can get generals, right?
now everyone can get generals. Like I'm a limit most countries besides the major countries. There's not really a good way of limiting them.
Okay.
But yeah, everyone can get generals, as
So
everyone had field marshals and whatnot.
the more generals, the better.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go.
Every soldier a general.
Yes,
Yeah.
every man a king. Anyways, peace, man. So yeah, that's essentially the gist of the video. GG.
Uh.